Hello, good morning. Black women, if money is the reason that you are not making progress on your move abroad plan, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to make your first move abroad dollars. Not an exaggeration, okay? Get your notebooks out, get your laptop out. Okay, we're going to make money if you're in one of these categories. If you are a person who wants to take your in person job fully remote, if you already have an online business, if you have some sort of online business idea like virtual assistant work or coaching or something, if you want to find a remote job in your field, if you want to do some online gig work like teaching English online or being an online notary, or if you want to do a job in another country, an alternative type of work, like teaching people English in person in another country, being an English teacher in Asia somewhere or South America somewhere. We're going to make progress today. So, enough talking, right? Enough listening. Time for some action. Money follows action. Money also follows like intention, but you need to put some action behind it. You need to move your feet. The money that you need to live a different way is probably not going to fall into your lap. It might, right? It might. Someone in the Exodus Summit Facebook group just today said, I never need to work again, thanks to an inheritance I just received. That's valid, legitimate. I love that for her. But that's not necessarily how you are going to be able to move abroad. It's not how most of the women in the Exodus Summit community move abroad. Most of us take some action to make money a different way. Hi, welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry. I'm a house sitter. I'm the creator of House Sitter School and the co-creator of Exodus Summit. And I help Black women take career breaks and sabbaticals. I help Black women move abroad. I help Black women bop around the world as a nomad. If you're interested in these things, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the button. I'm waiting. Okay, thank you. And then turn on notifications, ring the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I post a new video or when I go live with my friends. Hey, friends. Hey, Kim. Good morning. Hey, AG. Good morning, SK and Khadijah. Good morning. Hey, Latasha. Good morning, Meriton. Good morning, Osunlade, 40-something Fire, and Kim H. Hi, Erica and Chanel. Hey, Miss Melanie and Bridgetta. Hi, Gail. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning, Shanna. I think Shanna. Hey, Charlesetta. Hi, Desperately Seeking Inner Self, a New Life Curator, and Gwen and Cindy. How's everybody? Hi, Dr. Ren. Hey, Sandra from Lack to Legacy. Okay. Hi, Sandra. One thing we're not talking about today is investing because I don't know how to make money investing or trading in a day. Okay. But Sandra's channel from Lack to Legacy can teach you investing and trading if that's your pathway to making the money to live in a new place. Okay. Hi, everyone. From Lack to Legacy is Sandra's channel. Hi, everyone. Okay. So how did I go from making $22 an hour as a hospital pharmacy technician to being able to live anywhere in the world? Right now, that anywhere is Bogota, Colombia. I'm back in Bogota. My week in Mexico at Holbox Beach, Holbox Island was fantastic. You see my laundry out on the, I forgot I had my laundry out on the, right there. I had I'm in a hotel room with a washer. I'm all over the place. Let me calm down and get in one direction. Had a fantastic week on Holbox, celebrating Rashida's birthday with her and Adalia. Fantastic week. And now I'm in Bogota, ready to settle down for a few weeks and be here. How have I been able to be anywhere in the world financially, right? How do I afford that? It started with virtual assistant work. I started as a virtual assistant. Just like in my business, I pay people to do things for me so the business keeps running. Last week, while I was out traipsing around an island, my business kept running, right? I pay assistants. I don't think any of them actually call themselves virtual assistants, but I pay them to do work inside of my business. I was the person who did that work for other people. That was my first online money, right? I started off with savings, started off just having savings. And then I need to make some money, and it became virtual assistant work. Virtual assistant work was the first way that I made money online from anywhere in the world. At that time, I was in South Africa. I traveled from Cape Town to down Durban to Johannesburg to the safari place, Kruger National Park, right? I did all of that traveling in South Africa, and I was making money here and there as a virtual assistant. Today, my YouTube channel pays me. Thanks for being a subscriber and watching my videos. It's free for you, and I get paid from YouTube, from ad revenue. My coaching business pays me. House Sitter School is a product. It's a product that I sell, a digital product. I do one-on-one coaching. I just did some one-on-one coaching yesterday as soon as I got checked into my hotel. Was that yesterday? As soon as I got checked in, I had a one-on-one coaching call, right? And then I have the Exodus Summit business. Rashida and I run the Exodus Summit business where we make money. All that's online, all that's location independent. And none of that would happen if I was like trying to do things the traditional way, or if I was just waiting and waiting for things to be perfect, right? If I was just waiting and waiting until I wasn't afraid, none of that would exist. Okay. So it's time for some action. I don't know what you hear happening in the United States, but what I hear happening in the United States is a rollback of rights and a lack of checks and balances. Remember, as a kid, we were always told about the checks and balances, a lack of checks and balances, which I think means it's time for you to get up and go. I don't know what you hear. I don't know what you see, but that's what I see. And so I think it's time to go ahead and make your money plan. Okay, I think the easiest group of people, I think I named 6 or 7 groups of people. I think the easiest group of people to check off of our list today is people who already have a job that you already like, and you just want them to let you do that job from another country, because you probably do it remote sometimes. You can work from home sometimes, but they haven't given you the green light to work from abroad. If you have a job that's paying you an adequate amount of money, and, you know, with people that you don't hate working with and doing work you don't hate doing, and you would just like to take that job remote, I'm going to point you to another resource. This is not a thing that I can help you do today, but you today can craft your presentation that gets the green light, that gets the okay from your employer for you to be somewhere else in the world. Okay. I'm going to point you to Team Zekis. Getting Black women paid. You know, I can't talk and type, so I got to do this one thing at a time. I'm going to point you to Team Zekis. Her resource, her company, her business is Getting Black Women Paid. Getting okay. If you already have a job that you sometimes do from somewhere else, and you would like a formal agreement with your job that you can work from another part of the world, then I would move myself over to that resource now. I would leave this video and I would go click on Team Zekis's resources right now. So she has a step-by-step. No, that's not what we don't want. The building the business. We want her resources on negotiation, resources. She does a resume and LinkedIn profile audit, but she has a resource. I know. So this is why sometimes it pays to ask people what they're into now. Break into a new industry, job search tool, but she has a resource on negotiation, but it's not that one. Okay, the free salary you deserve skills analysis checklist is probably helpful in her resources section. Okay, so let's find another resource on negotiation. Black women negotiating at work. Okay, let's find a different resource. Tawana Carter, professional coaching. High impact salary negotiation tactics. We want a firm, we want an actual resource that helps us negotiate remote. So inside of Exodus Summit, the Move Abroad Money Summit, which was 2022, Tine taught this session. So maybe the best way is just to go watch the replay from Exodus Summit 2022, which is exodussummit.com/money. But I know she's done, her book, let me go to her Instagram. I think that was her whole business model, was teaching Black women how to negotiate. But now I'm not seeing that on her website. Non-salary negotiation tips. Negotiation isn't just about money, it's about opportunity. Okay, want better perks at work? Here's how to secure what you deserve. Flexibility, yeah. So if you want to negotiate flexible work, but save this for your next negotiation. I'm gonna point you to that post. What if I were you? I would just schedule a one-on-one call with Team Zekis today. Okay, that's going to cost you money, but I don't see her teaching this. Let me go to her YouTube channel. Everybody has a YouTube channel. Okay, so here's a YouTube on negotiation. She was interviewed somewhere in the middle podcast 1 year ago. Share, copy. Okay, what I would do if I was a person who already had a job that I just wanted to take remote, I wanted them to say, you can do this job while you travel the world, or you can do this job even when you move to Mexico or Panama or whatever. If that was me, and I didn't want to start from the very beginning, and I wanted to keep the job I have and just be able to legally and fully work remotely, I would go watch this YouTube video with Tine. If I still had my replays to Exodus Summit 2022, I would rewatch that session. I would take notes and I would craft my email, my pitch to my employer this weekend. While it's Memorial Day weekend, you don't have work on Monday, most of y'all. While I have time, I would spend this weekend crafting that pitch. I would make this the last time I go into work without asking for what I want. And I would learn to ask for what I want from Team Zekis and from her resources. If the interview and the replay from Exodus Summit 2022 are not enough to teach me, and I want Tine to work one-on-one with me to craft this pitch, to be able to present to my employer this pitch, I would schedule a one-on-one session with Team Zekis. Okay. Most Black women charge under $500 for a one-on-one session. For under $500, you could get what you needed to get remote, right? To at least pitch it to your employer. You don't know what they'll say yes to until you craft the right pitch. You have to approach it the right way. When people pitch me as a YouTuber, I know people are not good at pitching, because people pitch me as a YouTuber and they'll be like, I'm launching my book and I want to come on your channel and talk to your audience. And I'm like, that's not a good pitch. You're not good at this, right? Right? A good pitch is, what is it going to do for me and for my audience? Not what's it going to do for you. I know you want to sell copies of your book, but I want my audience to feel served and not used. Learn how to pitch. So I know people are not good at pitching is what I'm saying. And pitching something like that it requires a little extra support because she knows what employers want to hear just to give you a yes. Okay. So that's what I would do if I was in that first group. I saw a comment already that someone said she's already negotiating. Your Spelman sister wrote a book called Negotiating While Black. Tamika, do you know her name? Tabby, T-Baby. Hey, T-Baby. I've been working from home since COVID, got the green light to work abroad from my manager. And my manager has contacted HR waiting on approval. Best of luck to you. Go get them. Ask for what you want. For a lot of you, the easiest way for you to leave the country is to get a job that will let you leave the country. This is not a place for people who want to sneakily leave the country. You may have permission to work from your house and you just pretend that you're at the house when you're in Mexico. That doesn't work. If anybody in that company is interested in investigating where you really are in the world, they will know where you really are in the world. A VPN is not going to save your job. A VPN is not going to save your job. Last night, I turned on a VPN because I wanted to watch Hitman, the movie on Netflix, and I'm in Colombia, and Hitman isn't on Netflix in Colombia. So I turned on my little Express VPN so it could look like I'm in Miami, so I could watch the Netflix movie. But don't you know, when I went over to Amazon Prime to watch another movie, Amazon was like, no, you're not in the country. You're using a VPN. Joke's on you. We know what you're doing, right? Netflix doesn't seem to care all that much. Amazon Prime cares about where you are in the world. Yes, I still have Amazon. I don't have Amazon Prime, but I do still watch Amazon Prime videos sometimes. Slowly, I'm unraveling myself from Amazon stuff, but it worked out for me for the best. Now I think I'm done watching Amazon Prime videos because they don't let me. So they made me boycott them anyway. VPNs don't work. If you're employed, VPNs work, but they're not hiding anything from any employer who actually wants to investigate where you are. If your business has an IT department, your business, your company, they know where you are. So you've never, ever on this channel been given the advice to just use a VPN, keep your job and use a VPN. I would never do that. And anyone who ever says that, I say out loud, if you don't mind getting fired. I've heard people say it out in the world, and I'll be like, the only way I would do that is if I was okay with getting fired and being abroad with no job. If you're okay being abroad with no job, sure, try that, okay? But what we're not going to do is rely on that. What I would do is make a formal pitch to your employer, do an actual negotiation, do a negotiation, do the knowledge, do a negotiation, and get the formal permission for you to work from where you're going. And you don't know what your employer will say yes to until you ask, with the support of someone who has experience getting people approved for this. Listen, I'm not the boss of Black women, but if I was the boss of Teen Zekis, that would be her whole platform. Here's how you get approved for remote work. That would be my business model. Okay. So we're kind of moving into the next section, right? So the first section was people who already have a job and want to take it remote. I can't help you any more than point you to those resources, but I would spend your day doing that. You don't need to make an online dollar because you've already got a job. You just need that job's permission for you to go somewhere. So that's what I would do. If I were in that category, you have a job that already pays you, and you just want to, and you can do it remotely, and you just want to be able to do that job from anywhere in the world, I would go to Teen Zekis' YouTube channel, or go to that video. It's not on her channel. I would go to that video that I just shared. Copy. I'm going to share it again. I would go to her, that Instagram post that I just shared about her negotiating, and I would say, how do I get resources from you so that I can negotiate this with my employer? It's worth a financial investment. If you don't have to look for another job, you're saving yourself that money and the time and the effort of not looking for another job. So that's step one, I think, for almost anyone who's already working remotely for a job that you are okay with. It's not killing you, right? If it's not a toxic job and it's fine, you can do it and you're into it. That's step one. Okay. Step one, Team Zekis. Okay. Not like the pepper, we've tried to figure out what the name is because I'm going to play that game. I don't know if this is bell, not like the pepper, cayenne, maybe. What are other names of peppers? Pepper, bell pepper, cayenne pepper. I could see that being someone's name. Okay. If your company already has support staff outside of the US, you have a case to work abroad. Existing legal right to work in that country will help your case. All right. So I would get support. If you don't know how to do this today, this is how I would spend my weekend if I were you. Okay. All right. Thank you. So speaking of me not being the boss of Team Zekis and not being the person who could tell her what to do in her business, let's talk about your business. Okay. Let's talk about you. If you don't have a job that you can take remote, and maybe you don't even want a traditional job because you want a little say over your time. You want a say over who you serve, what clients you see and don't see, right? Let's talk about what it looks like to start a business. Like I said, my first business was virtual assistant work. My first online stuff was doing virtual assistant work. I tried to do a little bit of inbox stuff, right? I'll be your inbox, your customer service. I'll be your customer service for coaches. That didn't really work because people didn't have the money to pay me. They expected that to be less money. Then it was social media, right? I did some social media posts for some people. There was a special, was it ovarian cancer month or something? And I did a whole promotion of social media posts for them for money. But I also learned social media is not a thing that people really want to pay well for. So then I moved into lead magnets, landing pages, and newsletters, right? That world, getting people from, a coach needs to get people from, I heard her talk somewhere, but a coach needs to have like a sales funnel. An important part of that sales funnel is a lead magnet, a free thing that coaches give you for your email address. And then they email you. And so I did that for coaches. How did I get my first clients? Good question. Here's what you're going to do today. Everyone who is like, I think there is some sort of coaching or consulting or freelancing work that I want to do. Freelance writing, freelance photography, freelance video editing. I want to help coaches who do these things. I want to be their support person. I want to manage their inbox. I want to do their social media. I want to make their lead magnets, and I want to do their newsletters, write their newsletters. Rashida and I tried to hire someone recently to write our newsletter, right? To write the Exodus Summit newsletter. If you think that this is a thing that you're interested in, get your notebook out and let's go ahead and work on this. If you already have a business and you just don't have the clients to be able to do what you want, right? To make the money you want, to do what you want, this is your segment of this video. This is your segment of this live stream. Okay. So how did I get my first clients? I got really clear on what I wanted to offer, right? So I tried a few things and then decided on what I wanted to offer. I wanted to offer lead magnets, landing pages, and newsletter services, right? Very specific. There are people who do things in a more broad way in the digital virtual assistant world, but I liked specializing in a thing. Okay. What is the thing that you can do for people for money? Okay. How much will you charge for that project? These are things we're writing down in our notebooks. Okay. What is the thing that you do for people for money? Whether you're a freelancer or a consultant or a coach or some service provider, What is the thing that you do for people for money? And like very specific thing, not an overall vibe, right? But what is the thing? I make their lead magnet. I put their lead magnet on their website, and I create the welcome email sequence for people so that when someone gets their lead magnet, they receive emails inviting them to that person's retreats or whatever it is, right? Very specific. What is the thing that you do? If you want to share that here in the chat, the thing that you do or want to do. What is it? How much are you going to charge? Who do you know already in that space? They don't have to be a person who you know would pay you. Your first clients often are people who are in your network, though, in your world. It happened to really help that my mom, Connie Perry, had a very good friend who was a coach. He had a book called Boys Won't Be Boys. He's written more books since then, but he'd written Boys Won't Be Boys, and he went into schools and he talked to people. My first paying client was my mom's friend, somebody inside of my network who needed someone to set up some stuff for him, set up some of the exact stuff that I knew how to do. Your network is often the first place you get clients. Your resistance to telling people what you do is keeping you from making money in your business. What is the thing that you do for money? And from now on, you do that thing, even if it's a thing you haven't done yet. You talk about it as if you do it. What is the thing that you do for money? How much does a project cost? Who do you know who would be a good client? Even if they wouldn't, even if you don't have to decide that they're going to pay you, right? We often give ourselves that roadblock. So-and-so, oh, I could help her so much, but she would never pay me. That's not the point. The point is, who is that person? And how do you find more people like her? If you've ever done the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge inside of Exodus ASAP or in the Exodus Summit family, this is what we work through. We take 6 days and we work through this, right? Who are these clients? So me being able to say, I know one person who I could help means that I know where I can find other people like that person. That's how I got my next client. I found communities for coaches like him, communities for authors and coaches who wanted to get their message in front of people. That is your pathway. Who could you serve? And how do you get your message in front of groups of those people? And then what is your message? What is your message? Your message needs to be something that is not everybody else's message. So in the virtual assistant space, my message was, you're wasting time by doing all this stuff on social media if you don't have a free offer to move people over to your email list. You're not making sales from social media. You make sales from your email list, but you're missing this whole section of your business, right? That was my message out to the world when everyone else was teaching social media, social media, social media. Instagram, back then it was the other one, the one that doesn't exist anymore. Periscope, right? Everyone was teaching Instagram and Periscope and Facebook Lives. And I'm like, you're wasting your breath if you don't have a place to invite people to join your newsletter, because your newsletter is what they're going to click on to make sales, to buy your thing. They're going to click from your newsletter. So what do you offer? How much does it cost? One actual literal person in your real life, who would be a good client? And then where do you find more people like them? Even if your network, even if the person inside of your network doesn't ever pay you, they are very valuable to you because they are the doorway into more people like them. So once I said, I can help this coach, I can help Tim, his name's Tim Brown. I can help Tim. I can help him set up, he was doing things very in person. I can help him set up some online stuff, right? Then it's like, well, if I can help him, I can help more people like him. What conferences does Tim go to? What organizations does Tim belong to? What Facebook groups, what coaching programs? Those are breadcrumbs that lead me to more clients like Tim. Are you taking notes? What is your offer? What does it cost? Who would be a great client for you? Even if you don't have to say, but she would never, they would never, right? As far as I know, Tim would never pay me. I don't know. I didn't know until I hollered, right? Or I don't know if I hollered at him or he hollered at me. And then where do I find more of that person? And then what is my message? 5, what is my message? What can I share to people out in the world, in that cluster of people, that kind of person, to help them understand how working with me is better for them? This is what we do inside of the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. I'm going to contend this. I don't agree with starting with AI. Artificial intelligence has 0 life experience. You have 50-something years of life experience. You know the answers. Trust yourself. Use your knowledge, your wisdom to answer these questions. AI has not lived one day on this earth. AI does not give you, I'll say this, if you can't answer these questions for yourself, you're not going to be able to run a business. So AI is not going to be helpful. Okay? AI in terms of who can I help? What can I help them do? Where is that person online? And how can I get in touch with more people like them? If you can't answer those questions, online business is not for you. Stick around until we get to the gig work section, teaching English online, being an online notary, right? Gig work, more helpful if you're not willing to or able to work through these steps. Okay? Seriously and sincerely, I mean that. Sincerely. I just did the YouTube Success Challenge, and in a year, the way that we have surrendered our ability to think to artificial intelligence is scary. A year ago in the YouTube Success Challenge, if I would say, use AI for whatever, people would be like, how do I do that, right? Now, 1 year later inside of that challenge, I'm like, write down one person who, whatever. And they're like, I have to ask AI. In 1 year, we've surrendered our ability to think things through to a thing with no life experience. AI has if you wouldn't surrender these decisions to a 3-year-old who has 3 years of life experience, then you probably don't want to surrender these experiences to these things to artificial intelligence. You need to be able to think these through, or you need to do something else. If you're an online business person, part of what you need to do is connect with people. If you can't connect with people without using AI, do gig work, right? Drive for Uber, get you some savings, and then teach English online, do gig work. There's a difference between gig work and online business. Online business requires you to be able to plot, strategize, and also to connect with people in a way that not everyone has. Not everyone has a skill set for online business. Okay? All right. We're teaching this morning. All right. Gig work, to me, the definition or the way that I would describe the differences between gig work and an online business. Gig work, the clients are somewhere and you don't have to go out and find them. When you turn on the Uber app as a driver, you don't have to go out and tell people, I'm a driver. I have this many years of experience. My safety record is XYZ. And I can take you from this place to that place, and I can take you from that place to the other place, right? You don't do all that. You just turn on the app and the clients are there. Trusted house sitters. I don't have to explain to people, I'm a house sitter. I love dogs and cats, not crazy about birds, afraid of rabbits, right? I don't have to do all that. I turn on Trusted House Sitters app, I pull it up, clients are there, right? To me, gig work, the difference is the getting of the clients is much easier with gig work than it is with an online business. I do gig work. Technically, I would consider trusted house sitters gig work, even though you don't get paid for it. You get a free accommodation. Okay? But that is a difference. Not everyone needs to be in the online business space. I'm talking first to the people who do, though, who do want that. Coaches, freelancers, consultants, us, this group of people. AI is the future of some things, but AI is not the future of human connection. And if you cannot connect with your people, if you can't figure out how to connect with human people, AI is not going to be able to help you with that, right? There are things, you can use AI for things, but not for who in my world would I be a good virtual assistant for? And where are they already? Like seriously, if you can't find a person in your life who would be a good client for you, and then say what organizations do they belong to, what conferences do they go to, what podcasts and YouTube channels do they share? If you can't work through that process on your own, online business is not going to work for you, right? We are surrendering our ability to think to something that does not have the ability to think. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I use AI. I use my, let's see. When is the last thing? I use it. But if you can't work through this thing right now on your own without artificial intelligence, this is not the pathway for you. Okay? I use it. Everybody knows I like Claude more than ChatGPT because Claude is cuter, right? The interface, the look of Claude is cleaner. It was I haven't been on ChatGPT in probably a year, but once I learned about Claude, I was like, this looks better. I'm using Claude, right? I use it. But if you can't work through these things, this outline that we're running you through today, I wrote that, right? This is what we do in the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. I wrote this out. Right? If you can't sit and organize your thoughts without the use of a separate tool, you are going to become a slave to the tech bros, right? The handful of men who run these organizations, these companies, the handful of men, you are surrendering your personhood, your humanity to them. If you're losing it was really shocking to me in this last challenge, the number of women who couldn't work through this without AI. That's not the point of this video. And nobody's made $1 yet. And so I got some work to do. I promised some things. Okay. But I cannot, it was surprising to me in a year's time. Right? The challenge, when I did this challenge a year ago, hardly nobody was using any AI tool. When I did the challenge today, everybody was like, well, ChatGPT told me, like, girl, think that if you can't think this through on your own, you're surrendering your humanity. You're becoming a slave to these handful of tech bros. We're transitioning from a capitalist system into a feudalist system where we're working the land. We're sharecroppers to the handful of people that own these tech companies. Back on track. Okay. Let me get back on. Zero life experience. AI has zero life experience. And you're letting it tell you whatever. Think. Surrendering your ability to think. I don't like it. I don't like it. So sure, I think you have to know how to use a tool like that. You have to know how to use it, I guess, right? Because you don't want to be the person who Like you don't want to be a person who can't use an iPhone today. How do you live? If you can't use a smartphone today, how do you live? I don't know. Life is probably very scary if you don't know how. Not if you've chosen not to use a smartphone. If you're using a flip phone because that's your choice, that's your choice. But if you don't know how to use a smartphone, right? That's probably a very scary and isolating life. So I think we're going to learn how to use these tools. We learn how to use them, but we do not surrender our ability to think and decide to something with zero life experience and a history of not being on our side, Black people. Right? These tech men, these handful of men who are in charge of these systems, they do not give a damn about making sure that Black women are safe or treated well. Surrendering your humanity to a handful of white men, you're sharecropping for them. You're working their land for nothing in return. Back to coaching, consulting, virtual assistant work, freelance work. What is your thing that you offer to people for money? Who would make a great client? Even if you don't think they would say yes, who would you? There is somebody, everyone with a business mind, everyone with an entrepreneurial mind knows someone you're like, girl, you're doing it wrong. Here's how you fix it. Okay. Who is that person for you? Who is the person when you see her out doing whatever, you be like, girl, what are you doing? I just talked to Rashni the other day, Glamazini. She saw a friend of hers posting something and she was like, girl, let me help you. Let me help you. Who is that for you? And then follow the breadcrumbs. Where are more of those people? This is an important part of online business. Who would be a great client for you, and where do you find more of those people? Every person who would be a great client also goes to coaching or conferences or watches someone's YouTube channel like she's their coach, or podcast, and is sharing that information out in the world, is an evangelist for someone, is reading someone's books. There is a cluster somewhere on the internet of a whole bunch of people like your one single ideal client. When you know one ideal client, you know how to find others. And then you get a message in front of those people. Some of you today, if your ideal client is life coaches, join a Facebook group for life coaches, right? And then get in that community and be like, here's the thing that y'all are doing wrong. Deliver your message and invite people to work with you. Your first clients will come from your network, almost always. Your first clients will come from your network. So you deliver your message on your own platforms, your own Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, newsletter if you have it, or email, if you have some email addresses. Reach out to people, let them know what you do for money and that you have availability. And then you invite them to work with you. A call to action. Some of you are just a call to action, an invitation away from paying clients. You may not have paying clients because nobody knows what you do. Your messaging is important. You don't have time today to fix your messaging. Your messaging is important. Your approach to things, your perspective, your offer, making sure your offer is just right, that's important, but not for the first clients. The first clients is anybody even interested in this thing that I want to do? I want to do video editing. Does anybody even need video editors? I want to do a retreat, a vegan retreat for whatever. Is anybody even interested in that? The way that you find out is you find someone in the real world, a person you actually know who would be a fantastic client. You reach out to them and your whole network, and you follow the breadcrumbs from those people to other people. These are actual steps that you should do this weekend, that you can turn off this video and do right now. Okay. Did anyone here say that they were doing virtual assistant work or wanted to start virtual assistant work? What is the actual thing that you want to do for people for money? Maybe something you've already done for free. The next to get your next 3 clients challenge will be inside of the Exodus ASAP membership. Possibly, so we don't have a date yet, possibly before the summit, which is in October, which would mean June or July, maybe July, possibly July, but I'm not committing to it. We've not committed to it. We need to see what the women in the Exodus ASAP community want. But the replays are there. So if you join the Exodus ASAP community right now, you can go through the Get Your Next 3 Clients challenge that we did earlier this year. 6 days, 6 days of videos and coaching. You can go through that today, self-paced, and have clients before you finish the 6-day challenge. Okay? If you're inside of the Exodus ASAP membership, go back, look for the Get Your Next 3 Clients challenge section. Start from the beginning. The workbook is, I'm a good teacher, as you can see, okay? The workbook breaks these things down much smaller and much smaller chunks, right? What I'm asking you to do in 10 minutes, the workbook breaks down over time so that you can let people know that you do your thing for money and invite them to work with you. For most of us, our first clients pay us from PayPal, right? We don't have a website. We don't have Exodus Summit still does not have a website. You don't believe me. Exodus Summit has existed for more than 5 years. We've hosted 5 virtual summits. And inside of our virtual summits, we've made more than $1 million. I don't know how much, but more than $1 million total in our virtual summit business. There is no Exodus Summit website. When you go to exodussummit.com, you go to the platform we use to host the summit, right? There is no Exodus Summit website. You don't need it to get clients, to serve clients, and to make money, right? PayPal and an email address is how most of us get started. So what is your offer? What does it cost? Who would be a great client? Where do you find more people like them? What is your message? And then deliver your message with a strong call to action in those wheres, those places where you've seen your ideal client is also involved, engaged on the internet, right? The Facebook groups, the coaching programs. It's okay to join a coaching community just to get clients, as long as you don't do the same thing that coach does, right? So if you're a bookkeeper and you know a coach who teaches marketing to coaches, and you're like, I would love to be a bookkeeper for coaches. Maybe you join that marketing program. And inside of that program, you say, oh, also I'm a bookkeeper for coaches just like you. Has anyone done that? Almost every time I go to a coaching thing, a conference, I get new clients, right? Even though I'm there to learn how to do the thing. Once I say, I'm Stephanie and I help Black women leave the country. Okay, and Stephanie, how do I get in touch with you, right? If you today look at what, you know how I just said, if there's a woman or person, you're like, girl, I could help her. I could help her. I could help her with this, right? Turn that into some conversation that you're willing to have on the internet, a live stream on Instagram, a YouTube video, a Facebook Live, a TikTok Live, an LinkedIn Live. Turn that into an actual conversation, a message that you're going to deliver on your platform. So for me, it would be today. What's happening in the world today? What's happening in the world today in the move abroad space? Well, Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, people know now that they've lived in the UK and they have a nice house. But I don't think I want to talk about that. I guess my message would just be the United States is kidnapping people. And soon they're going to get to people who look like me. Right now, they're fixated on brown people, right? Right now, they're fixated on people from Latin America. But soon enough, they're going to get to people like me. And so that's why I got residency in Mexico. I don't intend to spend time in, and I don't intend to live in the United States because it's not a safe place for me and for Black and brown people. That's my message. And I would deliver that message on Instagram Live, on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on TikTok. And I would say, if you're feeling like it's time to get your plan together, join us in the Exodus Summit Facebook group. It's free. And if you're ready to make real progress, join us in the Exodus ASAP membership, where you get coaching on the 8 parts of your Peace Out protocol. Where am I going? What does it cost? How does that money, where's that money coming from? What do I do about my people and pets? What do I do about my home and my stuff? How do I get legal residency somewhere? What do I do about healthcare? And how about mindset and fear? How do I make sure that I keep making progress, even in the face of fear? Those are the 8 parts of the Peace Out protocol. And those are the things that we do inside of the Exodus ASAP membership. Those are the questions that we get answered. Women come into Exodus ASAP knowing that they want to move abroad, but with none of those parts usually figured out. And when they leave the Exodus ASAP membership, they have progress on each one of those pieces, and they peace out. Women who've joined the Exodus ASAP membership are now in Panama and Mexico and Trinidad and Tobago. Who else? Some other places. Jamaica, Mexico again, right? I would deliver that message all over the internet. Spoiler alert, I have already delivered that message all over the internet. I do it every week, weekly, okay? This is how you get your first clients, whether your business is moving abroad coaching or making landing pages for coaches or helping businesses be HR compliant. Is HR compliant a thing, right? Whatever your thing is, the steps to getting your clients: get an offer, put a price tag on it. We didn't want to skip that part, okay? Create something. I don't mean create an offer as in create a whole course before anyone's bought it. I just mean, here's a thing I can help you with. And that offer might be a one-on-one call. Most of us start with one-on-one calls. I started with one-on-one calls, right? What is the offer and what does it cost? Who would be a great client? Who do I know in my life who would be so great for this? Even if she won't ever pay me, who would be so great for this? Where do I find more people like her? What is my message? Where do I deliver my message so it gets in front of people like her? And how do I make sure that that message includes a strong call to action to work with me? That's how you get clients. That's it. That's how you get clients over and over and over again. It's why you see me on live, YouTube Live, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on the newsletter, right? I have a message. I have a group of people I want to deliver that message to, and I invite people to my offer. This is how we all get clients. Lisa says, yes, HR compliance is a thing. It's my thing. So that is how, if I was a consultant who helped businesses, a particular type of business, be HR compliant, that's what I would do. What is my offer? Is my offer a consulting package? Is my offer a box? I know a woman who, Delmar, it was called HR in a box, right? Is it consulting work? Is it where we talk, but you do the stuff? Is it implementation where I do the thing for you, right? What is the thing? What does it cost? Who would be a great client? Is there a business out there that I'm like, girl, you're slipping. Let me fix this for you. And then what other businesses are like her? What conferences does she go to? What coaching programs is she in? What Facebook groups is she in? What in-person communities does she belong to? Does she go to the Chamber of Commerce things, right? What YouTube channels does she watch and share? That's where you're going to find more people like her. You get your message together, you deliver your message in front of those people, and you invite them to work with you. That is how you get clients. Okay, I didn't give you the caveat in the beginning that I don't know about physical products. I've never sold physical products. If you're a bakery, I don't know how to get people in your store. Okay, but that's why I said online business. Okay. Josette, what if you sell products, not services? If any of this resonated with you, Josette, I don't know. The answer is I don't know about physical products. But if any of that seemed like a thing that you would do to get clients, then consider that. When I think of physical products, I think of bulk buyers. My mom's friend Lisa, who's probably in Morocco right now, she makes physical products and she sold them to a hotel or bed and breakfast in like Vermont or something, right? When I think of physical products, I think of that. If your physical products are not something that you want to sell in bulk and you just need a bunch of individual clients, then I think you still need to be talking your talk. Your products are different for some reason, right? Maybe we're slathering ourselves. You made your products for a reason. Are we slathering ourselves in stuff that's not helping us and maybe even is harming us? Is that your message? Are we spending too much money on? What is your message? What is the reason that you started making your own products? What's the reason? Is there a message inside of that? My products for diabetics, okay? Oh, okay. Then you should be talking your talk. Then you know an individual person who your stuff is good for, and you can follow the breadcrumbs to find groups of people. If your stuff is for diabetics, guess what? Diabetics belong to groups, support groups. They go to specific types of doctors, those doctors and healthcare providers, right? So you need to be connecting with those people. So it's the same system, right? It's the same method. What is your message? Why? Why does your thing exist? Why do we need to look at what we're doing differently? What we're doing is not serving us, but we don't know that yet. What are we doing differently? Right? Same system, same message. You need to okay, but let's move into those of you who already have an online business and instead just need more clients or more money. You already have some clients, but you need more money. There are two different ways that people who already have a business and already have clients make more money. Now, I'm going to give you two. There's more than two, I think. Where did I write this down? Number one, reach out to every previous client and tell them you have availability. For you, instead, Josette, it wouldn't be availability. It would be, it's time to re-up. Girl, remember how you liked using my stuff? It's go time, right? I don't know the legalities and logistics on reaching out, emailing people after they've bought your stuff. Because if they didn't sign up for your newsletter, are you legally allowed to email them again? I don't know the answer. I know normally when I buy something online now, like my Black Girl Vitamins, it's my little sea moss. I took it right before we went live, I choked down my 2 sea moss capsules, right? So I bought these and now she emails, I'm on her email list. I don't know if I had to separately opt in for her to email me or if me buying her products meant that I was on her list, right? I don't know the legalities, okay? But I would, if it's legal, every person who's ever bought from you, email them. Hey, it's been a while. Don't you need? If for me, right, inside of the Exodus Summit community or the YouTube success stuff, my YouTube coaching, right? I should be emailing people. It's been a while. Do you need to do it again? I don't often encourage people to take the challenge again because you have the workbook and I spent time on that workbook. Go back over your workbook, right? But sometimes I do. Challenge is happening again. Do you need it again? Right? In my challenge, I generally have 3 or 4 people out of 30, 10% are repeat customers, at least, right? So number one, everyone who's already been a client of yours, and this includes the free people, because a lot of us start out doing a thing for free. Anyone who's ever done you've ever done anything for them, holler at them. Let them know you have space. Let them know you have availability. Let them know you have product. It's time. The most likely person to buy from you is the person who's already bought from you. The most likely person to be your client is the person who's already been your client. So number one, holler at them. And then number two, consider what else they might need. If there's a certain person, a certain group of people who've already bought something from you and it was helpful and it's not something that they would need recurring, is there a next step that you can help them with, right? So for YouTube coaching, for me, the challenge, like I said, I don't encourage people to come back to the challenge, but I do have a next step, which is my YouTube Success Society, right? Which is monthly coaching. If your thing is a one-time thing, you may need to add in the next level. You don't have to. But you might. That is a way. People who have already worked with you, they've already gotten a success. They already know what you can do, how good of a teacher or coach you are, or how good of a consultant or freelancer you are. They already know. So is there a next step? If you're a freelancer who creates websites, for most people, it's probably a one-time thing, maybe a two-time thing. So what is the next thing that they might need? Will they need ongoing support for something? Reach out to them. If you don't know the answer, ask them. They're human people, right? They're not AI. Ask them, what's the thing you need next? Okay. How's the website? What's the thing you need next? Maybe you provide that thing next, or maybe you refer them to someone else and get a commission, right? For trusted house sitters, I get affiliate commission. I get 40% commission from trusted house sitters. 40%. Right? So I don't need to create anything. I just get my little 40% and be happy. Okay. So if those of us who are already coaches, who already have clients, the way that most make more money is tap on the shoulder of those previous clients. Do they need to repeat? Do they need to come back? If your thing is not a thing that people generally repeat or come back for, is there a next level that you want to do with them? You don't have to, but is there a next level? Okay. I know I'm not really paying attention to the chat, but I think you're okay. Raquel. Hi, Raquel. Do you have thoughts on how to let go of the mindset that we're bothering past clients when we invite them to work with us again? I struggle with feeling like I'm nagging. There's a process to this, okay? Number one, ask them for testimonials. There's another word. Send a survey. Find out how helpful you were in the first place. And then read that. That survey is as much for you as it is for you to share those results with other people. Testimonials are amazing because some people will not buy your thing. They won't sign up for your thing until they hear someone else's experience. They need testimonials. There's that kind of person. Different personality types operate differently in the world when it comes to making investments, paying money, spending money, right? There are people who will read reviews on things before they will buy the thing. So testimonials are crucial to your business. So make sure, for anyone you've worked with, there needs to be a system for you to ask them, for you to send them a little short survey for them to give you a testimonial. So the testimonial does help you with getting new clients, but it's mindset work as well. It helps you to see on paper what you've done. If you haven't sent a testimonial out or a request for testimonials out, do that today. Do that now. You can leave here and do that now. It may be one-on-one. You may sit down and type out an email and copy and paste it individually to people if you don't have a system like a MailerLite or ConvertKit or whatever. You may request them individually. You may post something on Instagram and be like, have you ever worked with me? Was it ever helpful? Can you DM me and let me know? Right? Whatever your system is, get testimonials, read the testimonials, internalize those testimonials. When you offer the next thing and the old previous students or members or whatever, previous students come into the next thing, that's also solid confirmation. You were helpful, because nobody's going to throw away money on something on the next thing if you didn't help them with the last thing. Right? So that's one of the reasons that I'm kind of proud that 10% of my students are repeat inside of a 30-member challenge. 3 of them have taken the challenge before, right? Although I don't encourage it, I do feel proud about that, because they wouldn't come back a second time if it wasn't good the first time. Some people like to come back in it and do it again and again, refresh. So that is a shortcut to doing the mindset work. The real mindset work takes more. There's more. I can't help you feel worthy, right? This is for anyone out there. I can't help you feel deserving. And I think some of this is like a feeling of not feeling worthy and deserving sometimes. Not wanting to bother people is because you feel like you're not deserving of their time. You're not worthy of their time. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how to fix that. But I do know how to fix the thing that I'm offering is worth the money, right? Just if the thing that you're offering is worth the money that you're charging for it, it's not bothering them. If the thing that you're offering solves an actual problem, it's not bothering them. Being in community still with the people who have been your previous clients somewhere, right, will help you know that they still need you, right? This is where all of this is human connection, okay? All of this is interpersonal relationships. Once we knew for Exodus Summit, once we knew that money was a real roadblock, we created the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge. We didn't create the Get Your Next 3 Clients Challenge out of thin air. We created it because we were in community with our community. We saw women say, oh, I do these 4 things to make money. I still don't have enough money to move abroad. And we were like, stop doing all those things. Get clients in your business, right? Get clients in your business, and you won't have to do these 4 things to make money and be exhausted. You won't feel like you're bothering people when you know your thing is helpful. But you won't know your thing is helpful until you offer it to people and let them use it. Whether it's body cream or consulting or a retreat, you won't know for sure that it's helpful until you have people use it, do it, participate in it. So some of it just has to be a leap of faith. And then gathering your testimonials and keeping your ears on, continuing to listen to what your people want, need, struggle with, want support with. I hope that was helpful to you. Okay, Mahogany Healing. Are you typing something in? Oh, so Mahogany Healing, if you added in a link or something, YouTube blocks out links. So maybe type something out. YouTube will block out the link. So I know you're sharing something, but we can't see what you're sharing because YouTube, in my chat, you can't put links in my chat because y'all know it would be off the chain. Yeah, I am a person. So thank you all for telling Mahogany, also for telling Raquel also how she's probably not bothered. It's probably not a bother. I hope that you can step back and look at things from a different point of view. Look at the way I do things. Am I bothering you? I'm on this YouTube channel every Saturday and sometimes on sporadic Thursdays. And Very rarely do I get the feedback of, oh, that's too much, right? Very rarely, right? And if I do, it's never from paying customers. Paying customers never are like, oh, too much, right? There have been times when I email every week. I'm off schedule. Like I said, we tried to pay somebody to do our emails. We just, right? The newsletter. It's a lot. There's a lot. But there were times when I emailed every week from my newsletter, Vicarious, and the Exodus Summit newsletter, and I go live here, and I do a pre-recorded video here, and we go live in Exodus Summit, and we're in the Facebook group, and we're in the paid community, and paid customers never say, ugh, you're bothering me, right? There is almost no such thing for Black women. It's quite impossible because we're helpful naturally. We're naturally helpful people and giving people and sharing people. It's I don't know that I can point to any Black woman I see on the internet and say, oh, she's bothering us too much. Slow down, right? It's not in our nature. There are people I'm like, enough. Old Navy, you ever buy something from Old Navy? They email you every day. That's too much. Right? Too much. Old Navy, I don't need an email every day from you. That's too much. Because there's no service, there's no help. It's not like the email is like, let me show you, I don't know what Old Navy could send me that I would want every day. It's not helpful. But I feel like what I talk about is helpful, even if it's a repeat, even if it's house sitting and you already house sit. There are people who already are house sitting. Crystal, are you here? There are women who are already house sitting, who have already either on sabbatical or retired or quit their jobs, right? Sandra's here, we know. Angela's here. And they're still here live today, right? There's nothing else that they need from me. There's nothing else. Angela has a YouTube channel already. Her channel is Lamar and Angela. They're in Mexico. Congratulations. Angela's daughter just graduated from high school. Congratulations to y'all. Right? There's nothing else. Diane's about to be in Panama. There's nothing else they need, and they're still here. There is it's almost impossible to be a bother. It's almost impossible to be too much, talking too much. When you create community and connection with people, human people, right? Creating community and connection with people, you can then stop worrying about being a bother, getting on their nerves, doing too much. Create connections with people, even if you're business to business, even if your clients are businesses, you're still connecting with the people inside of those businesses. And you don't have to worry. I don't think you have to worry about doing too much. I personally am a witness. Okay. I don't mean doing too much as in I mean being too visible or talking too much. Okay. I think it's impossible to talk too much. Moments of Essence is house sitting right now. Congratulations. Happy house sitting. Still here. Right? Have gotten the win. Diane, splitting her time between Mexico and Panama. Are you in Panama in June? So you know that Brittany, this should be a conversation that we have in the ASAP membership, but we're here now. You know that Brittany's in Panama, and I'm considering coming down and doing an ASAP meetup in Panama, Diane. When, I think you're in Panama now, or am I wrong? I'm thinking about coming to Panama City and hanging out with you and Brittany and anybody else in the ASAP membership in June. We'll talk about it over there, I guess, but I just thought about it. Okay. Where were we? Let me go back to my notes. So if you're taking your job remote, you should be gone. You should be off doing that. Okay. If you already have a job that you want and you just want your employer to give you permission to go remote, you should be working on that right now. You don't need me for the rest of the day. If you already have an online business idea or you already have an online business, how was that section? Before I'd like to move on to gig work, but how was the online business section? Ask me a question. I would join Exodus ASAP if that little bit, right, that those 20 minutes, if that was helpful to you, I would join Exodus ASAP and go back and watch the replays of our Get Your Next 3 Clients challenge that we did early this year. And then I would work alongside that challenge. I would make some move abroad money. Okay. I would make the money I need. Inside of Exodus ASAP, you'll also learn like how to scout out a place, how to pick some places that might be interesting to you. You'll learn how to get residency if that's what you want. If you want to bop around, Katrina's got a session coming up this week, I believe on the 27th, on her bop around budget. So if you're looking not necessarily to move to one place, but you want to, bop around, see the world, but you don't know how to budget for that, what would that look like? Katrina's session is on the 27th, I believe, inside of Exodus ASAP, inside of our membership. Our membership is $247. So this is not join the membership and stay forever. Okay, we don't do that. This YouTube channel is join and stay forever. Thank you. Okay, this YouTube channel is free. This YouTube channel is even if you already have the wins, you already have the successes, stick around, okay? But that membership is not stay forever priced, as you see, okay? It's come in, get what you need, and go priced. So the $247 a month is not $247 a month forever. We don't want you there forever. We want you to come in, get what you need to get your peace out protocol together, and then leave. Some women stay until they get gone. But some women come in and stay until they make progress on the 3 most challenging parts of the Peace Out Protocol, right? Listen, there are 3 things that are really bugging me about this. I don't know how to do these 3 things. Maybe it's where's the money coming from and where am I going? And what do I do about my home and my stuff? I don't really have progress on these things. Let me make progress on these things and then I'm leaving the membership. Maybe I'll come back later if I need something else. But this is not set it and forget it pricing. We don't do set it and forget it price things. If we charge, this is a note for you in your business, okay? We charge money for it as if it's helpful because it's helpful. We don't charge, but everybody wouldn't be able to afford it pricing. Everybody cannot afford, there's nothing that everyone can afford because there are some people who are like, $1? You want me to pay $1? Get out of my face. There are some people who are never going to pay you. Trying to set your prices according to people who are never going to pay you anyway will have you broke and crying and upset. It will have you getting glowing testimonials and you're broke. And that sucks. That sucks. Let me tell you, from a person who once did $20 coaching calls, it sucks to have people go, look at this amazing result that I've had in my life. You changed my family forever. And meanwhile, you got to do this and work another job and teach English online to make ends meet. So inside of me and my businesses, me and mine, we charge enough money to make sure that the business can thrive. Okay. And to make sure that we're clear that this is for transformation. This is not to come and kiki. Exodus ASAP, you're going to kiki in Exodus ASAP. You're going to meet some friends. Hopefully there's a co-living section, some women who are looking to co-live, right? You might meet your Golden Girls friends there, but it's not priced for kiki, okay? It's priced for peace out, okay? All right. Give it away for free. Stop giving it away for free. Put a price tag on it, Ms. Melanie. Put a price tag on it and then keep raising the price. My YouTube Success Challenge is $197. I think it was probably $50 the first time. It's helpful. It's better. I'm a better teacher as we go. Every time I do the challenge, I'm a better teacher. And my challenge is bigger, right? It costs more to learn YouTube from someone with 193,000 subscribers than it costs to learn YouTube from someone with 40,000 subscribers, right? Prices go up. But put a price on it and don't Don't decide that that price is the price. Prices can go up. Just like the price of just like these vitamins, these prices are going to go up. The price of your life goes up. The price of your services go up. Okay? The things that you're giving away for free, I think that that is all the confirmation you need to know that someone will pay. Because if someone is going to take the time and still do the thing, right? What if I don't know what you're giving away for free, Ms. Melanie, but I'm going to assume it's like help with something. Maybe you're doing resumes for free. Let's make that up. I don't know what you do. Let's say you're doing resumes for free. You already know that people will pay. Maybe not the same people. I think that's where we get caught up. Sometimes we think, well, these people won't pay me. But you just get yourself in front of the people who will pay you. Where do I find more of these paying clients? And how do I get my message in front of them with a strong call to action? Okay? Just because the people who will let you do things for free won't pay you doesn't mean nobody will pay you. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything that you could put out in the world that somebody wouldn't pay for. House sitter school helps people get house sits, but house sitting is unpaid, and people still invest money to take house sitter school to make sure that they get house sits, even though house sitting is unpaid. You ever see that man who goes to people's jobs and he'll tell your boss off? People pay him. There's a man, he's black. I don't know where he is in the United States, but he's black. People pay him. They be like, so-and-so at work is doing such and such. And he'll go to the job and tell them people off. I don't think that there's anything that, oh, look at this. SRH. No, I saw it. Here it is. I was charging $275 for hair color back in 1998. It's not these people won't pay me, and so it's not a business. It's these people won't pay me. Where are the people at who will pay me? Right? You hardly see, in my spaces, you hardly see people in their 20s paying to move abroad. Right? Women in their 50s, 60s, 70s value the expedition of the thing. Let's move this along. Someone in their 20s is willing to take 5 years to figure things out. Someone in her 50s is like, you got 5 weeks. Get me out of the country. Right? Where are the people at who will pay, who are already paying for some solution? Even if it's not your solution. If they're paying for some solution, they'll pay for your solution, right? If it's HR compliance, they're already paying fines. If they're already paying fines, they'll pay for you to fix it, right? If you're a meal prep person, girl, I'm already paying for food. I'm paying Uber Eats and Rappi. We're back to being in community with the people who are your people. This is something that AI cannot do for you. AI cannot be in community with your people. If people are paying for any solution, they'll pay for your solution. There are people who will never spend money on that particular solution. What is a solution in my life that I'm not willing to pay for? Oh, global entry. We've talked about this before. I'm not paying for global entry. Right? I'm not the client for that. I'll pay for a lot of things. I pay extra money for a lot of things. I'm in a hotel room, y'all. Let me tell you this. I'm in a hotel room that has a kitchen. Wait, what am I showing you? That's the bathroom. Oh, you can't see the kitchen because it's around the corner. I'm in a hotel room with a kitchen. It's a Hilton brand hotel in Bogota. I don't move into my next Airbnb until tomorrow. I paid extra for this kitchen and this balcony. There are things that I'm willing to pay for and things that I'm not. Anyway, are we on the topic? Are we on topic? What was I saying? AI, you need to be in, you need to, yes, if people are paying for a solution, even if it's the wrong solution, right, they'll pay for your solution, right? So in the move abroad, or let's say in the house sitter, trusted house sitter school, right, if people are paying to be in somebody's community about points traveling on points, those people would probably make decent people, house sitter school clients, because they like, I was just freestyling. I just wanted to show you my balcony one more time, my laundry. There's a washing machine in the room. I paid like twice, 2 or 3 times the price for this same, for a hotel room in Mexico City. This is how we know Mexico City is not a cheap place, because I paid for a hotel room in Mexico City, no kitchenette, no washing machine. I believe I paid 2 or 3 times what I paid for this hotel room in Bogota, Colombia. Bogota, Colombia, and Mexico City are very different, but not that different. This price, this Bogota is priced for me. Okay, Bogota's price. Bogota, Mexico City, very high altitude cities, very high altitude. So they don't get piping hot, although Mexico City gets much warmer than Bogota. Mexico City gets into the 80s, Bogota gets into the 70s. There is stuff to do here. There's more stuff to do in Mexico City, but there's stuff to do here. This is an active, vibrant capital city, right? But Bogota is like half the price of Mexico City. This is my recruitment pitch for you to come to Bogota. You know, my birthday party, if you email bogota@proton.me, you can RSVP for my birthday party on July 5. And they're taller people. Colombians are taller than Mexicans, if that matters to you for dating purposes or whatever. They're taller. Street foods. So if you want a taco, you need to go to a Mexican restaurant. Right here, they do arepas and them things. Everything is in dough. Street food here is in dough. And they don't season their meat all that well. They're not into seasoning. You have to go to a different you have to go to, the street food is not going to be super seasoned. So you have to go to a Mexican restaurant. I went to a really good Asian restaurant just yesterday. You have to go to someone else. Colombian food is not the seasoning. There ain't no seasonings. Okay, sorry to tell y'all. But there's everything here. It's a capital city. There's everything here. So whatever kind of food you do like that is seasoned, you can get that here. Yeah, Avianca airline, I don't like it. I fly Copa. I've passed through Panama. Copa is the airline that I use. Pass through Panama City, no problems. I don't care for Avianca, and frankly, I don't care for Aeromexico. Rashida don't mind Aeromexico. I don't like Aeromexico. Right? I'm flying Copa, pass through Panama. Life is breezy. Oh, Raquel says, if you go to the coast, they're seasoning. Okay, I'm in Bogota. I'm in the mountains. They don't season their food, but the other food is seasoned. Anything you want is here. I've had decent pho. I had decent pho. I just come back from Vietnam and I had pho here and I was like, it's not Vietnam, but it was decent. But yesterday I had really good Thai food. And I've had good tacos here. I've had good Mexican food here. Okay. We're talking about money. Okay. Has anybody made $1 yet? Online business with no clients or online business that already exists. We're closing the door on that and we're going to move into gig work. Okay? Gig work. So I did a video not too long ago about 9 types of gig work that people do to get money, to live anywhere in the world. Gig work, as I'm describing it, is work that you can do when you feel like it, right? Get paid usually hourly or by the project, and where you don't have to go recruit clients. Clients are just there on that platform, okay? So some gig work. Tutoring English online with Cambly is the most popular in this space. Probably because, once someone does it and shares it, more women do it. If you're a native English speaker, Cambly will pay you $10 or $12 an hour, not not get rich money. Cambly will pay you $10 or $12 an hour to tutor people in English, people from around the world. Cambly is not the only platform that does that, and there may be platforms that do it much at a better price. But with Cambly, you don't have to find clients. You log on to Cambly and they're there. Preply is a platform that people use for academic tutoring. I want to say this. I have a Cambly. I guess there's no point in saying it. I have a Cambly affiliate link, but I can't find it. So if you have watched another video of mine where I talked about Cambly, there's probably an affiliate link there. But anyway, I can't find it. Preply for academic tutoring online. Now, there is a virtual assistant gig work platform. It's called Zirtual.com. Normally, virtual assistants are in the online business space where you have to find your own clients. But there are virtual assistant platforms where you just show up and they're like, here's a project, do this project, right? Zirtual.com. And then Digital Nomad Kit is a platform that has helped quite a few women in this community launch their own virtual assistant businesses. The woman who runs this is Hannah Dixon. And she's a white woman, but Hannah Dixon has created the Digital Nomad Kit. If virtual assistant work, as we've talked about it already today, is interesting to you, is anyone here a person who has used her kit? But I'm going to link to both. I've linked to both of them. Zirtual.com and the Digital Nomad Kit, 1-2 punch for virtual assistant work. Another form of gig work is short-term rental, like renting out your existing home on a platform like Vrbo, like Airbnb, like Marriott Villas, right? Even though I would still consider that gig work. You don't really decide if someone books or not, right? But you can be anywhere in the world as long as you have a team, or your team can be one other person. As long as you have someone to help you, you can be anywhere and your home can be earning money for you out in the world. So I consider that gig work. Inside of Exodus Summit Move Abroad Money, which was in 2022, we had a very good session and follow-up session. We had a session during the summit and a bonus workshop after the summit on putting your home on a platform to get that money. Where this is not about renting another place and turning it into an Airbnb. This is about you already have a home. Maybe you have a room in the home, or maybe you have the whole home available for a period of time. How do you make money from that? I put that in the gig work space. So, I consider house sitting gig work sometimes. You're not getting paid to house sit through trusted house sitters. Okay. You're not getting paid to house sit through trusted house sitters, but you're getting free accommodation. So I call it gig work, right? You're not getting paid, but that free place to stay means you need a whole lot less money to live the rest of your life. So I put that in here. Online notary depends on your state. Your state may or may not allow you to be an online notary. So I don't have a place to point you to. You're going to need to do your Googles. You need to go and see if your state allows online notaries. I'm from Delaware. Delaware has online notaries. So first you get like certified or whatever to be a notary in Delaware. And then you get a special online notary certification. There seems to be a 2-step process to be an online notary in Delaware. And then there is a platform called something that connects you to people who need a notary in your place. Notary Live, notarylive.com, right? So those are the forms of gig work that I'm aware that women in this community are doing. Ask me any questions you have. Yeah, Latasha says no online notary in North Carolina. So it's very state specific. If one of these is interesting to you, leave this video and make $1 on that platform today. Well, so Cambly works like this. You record a video of yourself speaking English, and then you apply to be a tutor on Cambly, and then they holler back at you. So you can't make $1 on Cambly today. I don't know how long it takes to get set up on Preply. So you may not make $1 on Cambly today, but you could in a couple weeks. Depends on how backlogged they are. And what I would also do is look at other alternatives, right? What I like to do is just Google Cambly versus and see what comes up. Cambly versus. Okay, so it's saying Preply, italki, Clappingo, Ingo. I would go to all of those sites and get myself set up and see which one I could get started on sooner and which one I like better and which one is making more money or paying tutors more money. Okay. See, Mello says, Mello Vibes, Cambly never got back to me. Can you start over? Or do they have, I assume they have some sort of, so this is AI. A lot of places don't have customer service anymore, but they have to have some sort of customer service. See if they have some customer service people or start over. Can you start over? Yeah, Lisa speaks. First you be a notary. First you have to be a notary, then you do an approved training to be an online notary. So if this is a thing that you want to do and your state allows it, you need to get started now because there's steps to the process. Makeda says, Maryland allows online notary, but you have to be physically in the state. Really? What's the point of online notary then? What's the point? Okay. Okay. So, but tutoring English online is the most popular way that I know of women doing gig work to be anywhere in the world. Probably tutoring online, and then second would be, if house sitting is online gig work, then house sitting, or maybe those are reversed. And then other types of tutoring. Cambly has closed applications for some tutors for some states due to an abundance of applicants. Okay, so then I would look at other platforms. italki, Preply, somebody else. I'm sure there are others. All right, I know Cambly because I personally was a tutor on Cambly very briefly. And they sponsored a video that I did on this channel after that. But that doesn't mean they're the only players in this game, right? So I would find another. Being a native English speaker means that there are people around the world who are willing to pay you to help them practice their English. You don't, with Cambly and italki, you don't have to have experience. You're not a teacher, you're a tutor. And you're having conversations, especially when it's with adults. Y'all are just having conversations. They'll be like, I'm a nurse, or I work in healthcare, or I work in whatever, and I just want to have conversations about XYZ in English. Right? It's less pressure than you think, or less, yeah. And you can develop relationships, friendships with the people you tutor. Kim tutored, was it Kim? Had a long-term student that she tutored, regularly on Cambly. Yeah, so just because they're not taking applicants doesn't mean I would give up. I would go to another platform, right? I haven't paid rent since. Yeah, let house sitting be a thing. I would consider it gig work, even though you're not getting paid, because that free place to stay is nice. It's nice. There are house sits that are 1 or 2 days, but there are house sits that are months long. Of course, the longer, the more in demand, which is why people like to take my house sitter school, because they want to make sure that they're set up for success. If you're in the Exodus ASAP membership, house sitter school is included. It's in there. Okay. Yeah. House sitting, being able to book a 3-month house sit and not having to pay for a place to stay for 3 months. I recommend it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So is that it for gig work? Any other gig work suggestions or questions? I think the last section is what? Oh, alternative jobs. like being an English teacher in another country. Does the altitude bother me in Bogota? Yeah, every time I've left and come back, it's taken a little while to adjust. Yesterday, I only went, how many steps did I walk yesterday? I only went, I don't know, 6 blocks yesterday. And when I came back, I was like, I feel lightheaded, right? Let me relax, take it easy. In Bogota, that altitude is high. This is higher altitude than Denver. This is higher altitude than Mexico City. It takes an adjustment. So if you're coming to Bogota for any reason, you need to give yourself an extra day or two to adjust. I've not done any prep work. People are always like, you can use whatever ahead of time. I've not done that. Okay. I've not taken any herbs, any drugs, any medications for altitude problems. But I would Google it if I were you. Figure something out. If you're only going to be in Bogota for like 2 or 3 days, you need to prepare yourself do what you can to prepare ahead of time. If I was only going to be here for 2 or 3 days, I would probably Google, altitude sickness medications, because it's going to take you 2 or 3 days to acclimate, right? I came back, very late Thursday night, very late. So I got here after midnight, Friday morning. That was yesterday. Yeah. And so then I went, Friday morning. And then I went I walked like 6 blocks. And then I sat back here and I was like, ooh, I didn't get a headache this time. So maybe every time it'll be a little less. The first time with this altitude sickness, it was headache, like air pressure headache and nausea. But I knew that's what it was. So we just came back and took it easy. And I think I took something, Motrin or Tylenol or something. The second time I landed in Bogota, I think it was a mild headache. And then this time landed in Bogota, it was like lightheadedness, but not headache. So maybe I get less altitude sickness each time, or maybe I don't know, got lucky. Okay, Melissa, let's be friends. Can you email me, Stephanie@vicarious.com? I need some friends here. Thank you. Okay. Seriously, LaRonda says, been seriously considering online English tutoring. A girl loves to eat, and the current administration is making grocery prices ridiculous. Yeah. Money, the ability to make money apart from your traditional job is really freeing in general, even if it's not big money. Because if you can make some money, you can make more money. And you can lower, you're right. There's always, not always, but there's often a point where you can lower your expenses and make more money. And then you feel less tied to that job. That job has less hold over you. Being able to make money on the internet from anywhere in the world will set you free. It doesn't have to be one of the things we talked about today. We've talked about coaching and virtual assistant work and consultant work and freelancing. We've talked about taking your job online. We've talked about gig work, Cambly and Preply and house sitting. Once you free yourself, once you can make money, enough money to feed yourself, that doesn't require you to have a traditional job, you really are set free. Even if it's $10 an hour with Cambly. Because let me tell you, people are out in Thailand, people are out there paying $400 a month rent. Is that right, Katrina? People are out in Thailand paying $400. I paid $360 for a full 1-bedroom apartment in Chiang Mai on Airbnb. That was 2016. But in Chiang Mai, Thailand, I paid $360 for 1 full month on the Airbnb platform. And that's not the cheapest, right? So Sandra, $325 a month. That's $325. That's 32 hours on Cambly for a month, and your rent is paid, right? I'm not saying Cambly is a long-term solution, but it can fill in the blanks, it can fill in the gaps, and it can get you to a longer-term solution. So maybe your long-term solution is you're a consultant with HR. You're an HR compliance consultant, but right now you have one client. You feel really good when you have 3 clients, right? One client plus Cambly can help you until you get to the 3 clients, right? Tanya, I pay $483 a month. Hi, Tanya. This is Thailand also, right? Melanie said somebody sold cookies. A great side gig where I used to live was cooking a set menu for lunch. Tons of folks bought their food daily, $10 a day. It was delicious. Yeah. So when you're a visitor in a place, when you're a visitor, you don't have a residency permit, you're on a tourist visa, you have to be very cautious about making money in that country. So selling things in that country is risky. I'm not going to say people don't do it, but it is risky. If you're on a tourist visa, or even if you're on a residency permit, but you don't have the right to work in that place, making money in a country can void your tourist visa. So you got to be able to keep it underground, right? We know girls, we know the women, they do eyebrows, hair, nails. I don't know if nails is viable because there's a nail shop everywhere you go. But if you can do hair, black hair, right? We know people who earn money in that country, but you just have to be cautious. You have to be careful. To be quiet. Okay. Oh, people trying to leave before they go, trying to get their money up before they go. Absolutely. Yeah. When I go home, listen, when I go home to Delaware, she's my god sister. I guess I've never really realized she is my god sister until last time I went home. I think I knew that my dad was her godfather, but she just calls him Uncle Joe, right? Then when I went home last time, I was like, oh, Ines is my god sister. When I go home, Ines is bringing over food and baked goods. She brings food and baked goods over to my parents all the time. But yes, a person who can cook I remember Rashida saying that to H&D Abroad. H&D Abroad is a couple. They have a YouTube channel about their plans to move abroad. They've done some scouting. They've done some selecting of places. I think they even have residency now in Mexico. I believe they have their Mexico residency. And, Rashida was coaching D inside of our Exodus ASAP membership. And she was just talking about, the insecurities, money, feeling like, it's different when you don't have a traditional job. They're making money. And she was like, girl, your husband can cook. You got no problems. You got no problems. Your husband can cook. Money will pour down on you if you need it. If he goes to the store and buys some things and makes some things, y'all's rent is made, right? There are particular sets of skills that are universal that will carry you around the world. You just have to be a little careful. You got to be careful. You got to be quiet about things like that. Christine, I wish I could sneak and give Pilates classes. Now, I don't know that you can't, let me think about this. If I was on a tourist visa, I would just charge a third party like a retreat or a hotel space. I would let them deal with it. I would offer my services inside of a business that has the right to operate. Is that legal? Is that right? I don't know. But I would, if I knew some people who held retreats in my Costa Rica, right? Think about Costa Rica. There's always retreats in Costa Rica. But Pilates requires equipment, right? This is not yoga. I would talk to people. Oh, Adelia. Hi, Adelia. On a tourist visa, you might be able to get by accepting donations. Okay. On the go, JoJo. Tipped service. Okay. Yeah. Anything that you're thinking, someone is doing it. I'm not here to say don't do it. I'm not I said don't do the VPN thing. I meant that. But anything else, I'm not here to say don't do it. I'm here to say, know the risks, be careful. What you don't want is to be deported for breaking the rules of a tourist visa. So you keep things quiet. When you're inside of closed spaces, especially when you're in Black expat spaces, people are used to things operating inside of that closed space, and we don't talk about this out in the world, right? It's here. We're in this Facebook group. We're in this WhatsApp group. We're sharing this thing. I'm selling this thing in here. It's not out in the world. Get in community, okay? Back to community. This whole video, surprisingly, has been about being in community with people, being in relationship with people. When you're in relationship with people in that place, like all things are possible. All things are possible. The first rule of Fight Club. We don't talk about Fight Club. Inside of those Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups, anything happens. Anything goes. People are making money inside of those communities in various ways. If you have a skill set, I think nails is probably one of the only skill sets that probably doesn't carry around the world, because you can get your nails done here for no money. I'm not going to pay you to do my nails. This is me talking, a person who won't even pay for global entry. Okay. This is me talking. But anything else? You do hair, you do braids, you dye. Can you get my roots together, please? Eyebrows. Years ago, I tried to convince a woman. She was on Australia's Married at First Sight. Her name is Heidi. I met her in Australia. And I asked her something, and like, well, what do you do? She was like, eyebrows. And I love following her on Instagram. And I was like, Heidi, you can see the world doing eyebrows, right? Like, just make appointments before you go. Tap into that Facebook group or that WhatsApp community of visitors and tourists of Australia. I'm sure there are Australian groups all over the world. Tap in. I'm coming. Make your appointments. I don't think she ever did it. No, she didn't, because then she was on Married at First Sight, married a real asshole in Australia. Oh, she had it bad. There's those shows, most women never have it good, but she had it bad. She was such a nice person. I just met her in a cafe in Australia. She was a very nice person. Yeah. Okay. My roots look great. You're very kind, Ms. Melanie. I've decided that there are things that so I talked to Roshni Glamazzini on her YouTube channel. There are things that I used to feel bad about, feeling bad about. And now I just like, this is how I feel. So I used to think I should be okay with gray hair, right? Like, I should embrace the gray hair, and fighting the gray hair, which was what I'd chosen to do. I felt guilty about fighting the gray hair. And then I went live with Roshni on her YouTube channel. She's Glamazzini. Hi, Roshni. And she was like, you don't have to feel bad about it. Just do it, right? If you're going to color the grays, and that's how it is. Stop feeling bad about it. But anyway, hair grows fast, and staying on top of hair dye is hard, especially for a person like me who likes a little half up, half down, right? I like my hair pulled back a little. It's always gray. It's always gray. Who can solve that problem? There should be a pill by now. There should be a pill you take where your hair, if you can tan from a pill, why can't I dye my hair from a pill? I would take a pill once a month to not have gray hair. I think I would. Because people tan with pills. Nobody's solving my problems. Who can solve my problem? Okay. Copper water bottle reverses the gray. Okay. If y'all see me drinking from a copper water bottle, you know what it is. How did we do? It's been a while. Roshni says she would love to chat with more Black women about healing the relationship with their hair. So Glamazzini, Roshni, she is pioneer is not the right word because pioneers are old. Or a forerunner in the natural hair movement. She is now a certified life coach, but she doesn't want to not talk hair anymore, right? It's not like it's not like hair is not important to us anymore. Hair is still important. It's still a thing. So her channel is Glamazzini, and she's Glamazzini on Instagram. I would DM her if you wanted to have that conversation with her. She talked to me, and then she talked to another woman who had, now I don't remember the story. I think she had gone gray very young and had stayed gray, right? There were different conversations about gray hair. Okay. Yeah, we still talk hair. Yeah, like with Tine. I was like, Tine, you should still talk negotiation, right? Yes, we're on new things. Ignore. Thank you, computer. Yes, we're on new things, but we still talk the old stuff, the original stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I need to do a hair channel. Yeah. Yeah. Do the thing. Being a person who has made a living now by talking my talk on YouTube, right? There is nothing, I want to say this again, there is nothing that matters to you that doesn't matter to other people, that you couldn't use to form community and relationships, that you couldn't use to form connection. And anytime someone, either on this channel or somewhere else, they come and they say something and you, this community, dial in, they're like, oh, I didn't even know that. I thought I was the only one. There is community and connection on the internet. I know that bad things happen on the internet, but there is connection and community here as well. Having a YouTube channel where I get to share and bring on other people to share, where I don't have to know very much. I don't have to know a whole lot, right? Because somebody knows the answer. Somebody knows something. Bring her on, right? Creating this space and having this place should be confirmation for you that your thing is important, that your thing matters, right? So Elle was a guest on this channel a few weeks ago, and the conversation was not about her estranged relationship with her mother, but we did talk about her having an estranged relationship with her mother. And the way that you, friends in the chat, were like, oh, I understand. This resonates with me. I understand this. Helped her to see a thing that she had been keeping quiet was really a point of connection. Sometimes when I meet Black women who are like, oh, I don't have friends, I don't have connection, I usually assume either one, you're just a jerk. You must be a bad person, because it's not hard to have Black women friends. We are great people. You must be a bad person. Or you're very closed off because there's a thing that you don't want to share and you're afraid to share that thing. And so you don't share anything. And that's why you don't have connection and community. But when you do share that thing, when you open up in the right spaces, I don't mean open up for everyone, but when you open up in the right spaces, what you find is, oh, girl, me too. Right? Oh, me too. And here's a thing that might be helpful to you. Or me too. And now you don't feel like you need to close this thing in. I don't know what sicknesses and illnesses we're getting because we close things in, but a couple years ago, or maybe months ago, Alicia Renee said on her YouTube channel, I'm not a container for your secrets. And I was like, yep. When Black women do the load carrying, the burden bearing, load carrying, we suffer. And when you open up in some way, the emotional labor, right? When we do those things, we are the ones who suffer. We pay the price. Instead, I hope that you can free yourself, community and connection is on the other side of you opening up. I don't care what it is. We just finished the YouTube Success Challenge last week, and there's always women who are like, oh, I don't know if anybody wants to. And by the time she makes that video, half the people in the community are like, girl, I needed this, or I sent this to so-and-so. Thank you for sharing this. There is healing, community, connection, support, love on the other side of you opening up. So I don't know what that has to do with today. I just thought about it. I just thought about it. YouTube, we didn't talk about YouTube as your first move abroad dollars because YouTube takes time. But for some of you, your YouTube money could be the money for you to move abroad. Community, I'm not saying community. I'm not saying you have to monetize community, right? But I'm saying that for some of you, the thing that you already do is your pathway to your move abroad money. I don't want to get into, I don't want to be a person who's like, here's how you monetize community and connection. On the other hand, I've created fantastic community and connection here. And a lot of the women inside of that community are also paying customers, paying clients. And that is a thing. Okay. I appreciate that. I'm glad to be around at a time when YouTube exists and is free. And I'm glad to be around at a time when, when we have this ability to reach each other. Yeah. Christine, I've been a doormat, a secret holder, and a punching bag my whole life. I'm tired. So can I point you to Alicia Renice? I don't know where she said that particular thing, but her channel is just good. Okay. Can I point you to Alicia Renice? When she said, I'm not a container for your secrets, that's not really a struggle of mine, but it is a thing that I think I see in Black women. Some Black women. It's a thing I see. I think there are steps to liberation. Years ago, I'm gonna tell you, I was in college, so you know how many years ago that was, okay? One of my professors said, when Black women come to terms with their hair, they're gonna rule the world, right? All right, right? Because this was I graduated from high school in 1992, so this was before Roshni, this was before the Glamazini, this is before the natural hair movement. He's like, when y'all come to terms with your hair, you're gonna rule the world. I think hair. There was a liberation that started with hair, right? That started with, I no longer have to fit into this particular hair box to be seen as a worthy person. And other things are unfolding, other dominoes are falling. And I think that secret keeping, secret containering, I think that that's falling. A lot of taboo topics, a lot of taboo things are out in the open. We're not keeping those secrets anymore. I think I feel like that is a thing, a wind that's blowing. I see that in Black women, in the Black women that I'm in community with, in the Black women just out on the internet. I see that wind is blowing, and I think it's healing. I think it's reviving us. There were a lot of relationships. Black women have been in relationships that have been one-sided or not serving us. And I don't know, I see Black women like, I'm not keeping that secret anymore. I'm not carrying that shame anymore. Yeah. Sandra says these kids on the internet started that movement. They were the first to tell all their business on social media. Yeah, I think like the shame, there's been a lot of work out in public about what shame is and what it does to us. And I think that there's been a shame, there's been like a de-shaming. We've de-shamed ourselves, right? I'm not going to carry shame for this thing that you did, right? I'm done with that. That doesn't even make sense now that I think about it. It doesn't even make sense for me to carry this shame for this thing that you did. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we started with hair. We liberated ourselves through hair, right? And then we moved into money. There was a lot of money liberation, financial independence. I think we've moved into relationship liberation, marriage and partnership liberation, family relationship liberation. I'm not I'm not doing that for you anymore, right? I'm not I watched Elle video. So Elle's video, she put a video up on her own channel. She's Empress of Ease on YouTube. She put a video up on her own channel and I watched it. It was an hour and a half. And I was like, I don't know that I've ever seen a Black woman talk like this about her family. Right? She said words and I was like, I don't think I've ever heard those words come out of a Black woman's mouth. She said she had a sibling. So Elle was a guest on my channel a while ago, but this was on her own channel. This video was just put up. I believe it was put up this week. I watched it this week anyway. Yeah. She had a mentally ill sibling who was very created a house of torture, like emotional torture in the house. And I'm like, I don't think I've ever heard a Black woman say that. I know it's real, right? I know it's a reality for people. I've never heard a Black woman say those words, that she lived in a house with a sibling who made their life awful. I know that's real. I know it's got to be, right? These awful people are in the world. They were children at some point, right? It has to be. And having been, as a kid, I had foster siblings, and we had one set of foster kids. They were very young, but they were hellions, right? Get these kids out of this house. They were only there for, I believe they were there for a few weeks. Might have been days. Connie Perry was like, no, come and get these kids, right? But it just really struck me that I've never heard a Black woman say that. Even though a lot of Black women probably were raised in that kind of household. And her mother was like, I guess I should just link to her video. Her mother was like, I'm not in it. Yes, your sibling is torturing you in this house, but I'm not in it. That's between y'all. And now Elle does not have a relationship with her mother, that sibling or the mother. And I'm like, that is an amount of truth telling I don't know that I've heard before. Let me see if I can find her video. Well, I can't type anything there. It still got me to her. It still did it. Look at that. I typed every single word wrong and it still shared. It's called Why I Went No Contact with My Mother, the Black mother wound no one talks about. And here's the link to the video. This is not my experience, right? Them foster kids that we had, they were there for, I don't know. It seemed like a few weeks. It might've been a few days. But I've never heard that amount of telling the truth from Black women. It's new. Oh, she's here. Hi, Al. Good morning. That's new. I'm so glad to be around at this time. I'm telling you, I'm so glad to be around at this time. This is a new day. Black women are liberating ourselves. And that is one piece. That is a piece. If liberation is a pie, you know, I like graphics. I like graphics. I like to describe things in terms of slices of pie. If liberation is a pie, there's some relationship shame that we got to get out in the world, right? Cassie, I don't know if Cassie's a Black woman. Don't jump on me. I don't know if she's a Black woman. But Cassie saying, here's what he did to me, that would not have, imagine how many women never said that. Walking up in that courtroom, sitting in that chair, here's what he did, here's what he said. But, okay, so I don't know. Yeah, okay, she's not Black. Okay, but there's a new, I'm not carrying this shame. I didn't earn this shame. You did that, right? You did that. Why am I supposed to live the rest of my life with shame about something you did? This is a whole new conversation, a whole new topic. Okay, Angela says, can we also talk about going no contact with kids? Who? I had a woman in my challenge make a video about that, but I don't know if she ever made another video. Who was that? Going no contact with a child. She called it estrangement, right? No, older women. we know estrangement. No contact is a younger woman's phrase, right? You know, I could be cracked. I think I'm hilarious. Yeah, I'm not carrying that. I'm not carrying that. I love to see it. I love to see it for Black women. There's something new. I don't know if you feel it. You know, as a Cancer and a woman who can a little bit see the future, I see it. I feel it. Right? And when Alicia Renee said, I'm not a container for your secrets, I was like, oh, we on something new now. Because Black women in history, we have been the container for the secrets. We have been the cleaner upper, the mess keeper privater, right? We have been the person we have been the person who has carried it. But not today. You feel it too, Shani? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what conversations y'all are having with your friends, what conversations you're having on your channels, but that's what I see happening. That's what I see. Every time I turn around, I'm like, oh, this is a new thing. This is new. That's right. How many women never had the opportunity to speak up and say? Because I can't imagine 30 years ago. Like we know of abusive men in the past. We know of abusive men in history, but we don't know of we've not seen a woman stand up and say, here's what she did. Like we're seeing right. Here's what he did. Like we're seeing right now. Right? I don't know. I feel like this is a new time. I feel like this is something else. Right? Even I'll still call that lady Joan Carol Clayton. Tracy Ellis Ross. I promise you, I call her Joan Carol Clayton every time I see her face. Even Tracy Ellis Ross talking openly and honestly about not being married, not being in a relationship. There've always been Black women who are like, no, thank you. No, thank you. You think I want these jokers? No, I don't. But have not been able to, have not had a place or an opportunity or the ability to say it without a whole lot of people being like, well, she's just this and she's just that. But, you know, it's a new day. Yes, true, Nichelle. Women in the past who did stand up were ostracized and shamed, often by other women. I think a part of our liberation has been freeing ourselves from being what they call male-centeredness. I would like another term for that. Is it just me? I understand male-centered, but it's harsher than that. It's patriarchy. I guess it's patriarchy is the term. I think part of that is the patriarchy has operated in such a way that women in the past were on the side of the patriarchy. There have been a whole lot of women who are like, oh, well, I'm on the side of the way things are going. Yeah, it already exists. Thank you, Floel. Thank you. Yeah, the word already knows, right? The word already exists. Yeah, yeah. Male-centeredness is a little gentle to me. It's a gentle term for patriarchy. And I think enough women now are like, oh, actually, that's not working out for us, especially Black and brown women. Let's move over. Let's leave that behind. Let's walk over here to the unpatriarchy side of things. Yeah. So, oh, wait. Is there somebody I need to discuss? Ah, fair use. I had to take the stand in my own rape case. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm very sorry to hear that. I, we, I don't know. I don't know. It's a different time. This is a different time. Like I don't want to say support because that girl did not get support. Cassie did not get support. But the current, maybe narrative, the current conversation is not the way the conversation would have gone 20 or 30 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, right? That is the current conversation with, maybe I'm in a bubble on the internet, but with people not being on the side of the patriarchy and instead being in some way in support of her. It's not how things would have gone a few years ago. It's a new time. It's a new day. Okay. I don't know. It's a new day. A lot of things are happening at the same time that have me thinking, oh, we've crossed into something else. This is something else. Just like I said with AI, that man, this is not my words. I watched some video and he was like, we've crossed from capitalism to tech feudalism. We've crossed. We're not in capitalism anymore. That's what he said. We're now tech feudalists. This is a feudal system. Few people own the land. We till the land, right? That's what he said. And to me, we've crossed from what you would call male-centeredness, from bondage, we've crossed into liberation work. I'm not saying we are liberated, but we've crossed into, well, we on some liberation work now. Right? I don't know. Corporatism, is it called corporatism? Yeah, he said we're tech feudalists, right? And I was like, sharecroppers. We're sharecropping. All right, money. What I would love for you to do, if you don't yet have a pathway to making your money to live where you want to live, right? I would like you to take some of these steps from today, whether they're the online business steps or the gig work. All I could think of was graphic design, the gig work steps, or the transitioning from traditional to remote steps. I would like for you to do some of that today, this weekend, okay? So that you don't have to be sitting here in a few months or a few years still saying, I can't move, I don't have any money. I can't move, I don't make any money. I can't move, my job is here. I don't know what you see coming, but I don't see nothing good. Okay, it's time to take some action. Okay. All right, friends. Yeah. Yeah, this changed. Tiana says, and in one side of my family, it was sacrilege to publicly speak ill of a Black man, no matter what. Yeah, I don't know. There's some liberation happening. But the backlash is also real. Yes, but as Nichelle said, there was a time when the backlash would have also been coming from women. And I don't know. It's I don't know. It's something. It's something different. It's something different. Kiss my grits. Yeah, it's something different. Same problems. I agree with that. Hi, Honeycomb Hideout. Same problems. I agree, but a different response. Okay, friends, I would like for you to do something to make some money to live abroad. Okay, I don't care if it's sign up with Cambly or Preply. I don't care if it's tell people that you now can send their emails for them, write their email newsletter for them. Reach out to your network, reach out to the platforms where the clients already exist. It's time to have some money that is separate from a traditional job. Okay? It's time to be able to make some money from something else. Unless we didn't talk about this. There's some of y'all, you don't need to make another dollar. What you need to do is take real evaluation of what you do have. How much money do you even have? How much money does it even cost for you to live for a month or a year? Some of you don't need to make any more money. Your retirement money is there. You just need to actually retire. So that's a step for you. Okay, let me throw that in there. If it's time for you to just retire, it's time for you to retire. You don't know how much money you need because you don't know how to evaluate. You don't know how much money you have and you don't know how that's going to last. But you can get somebody to help you with that. Get a professional. Get somebody who lives the way that you would like to live to help you. Right? If you go to someone who thinks that if you go to, what's her name? The white woman, the white woman, retirement woman. If you go to her, she's going to tell you you can't retire until you have $20 million. Okay. Okay. But does she live the way that you want to live? Susie Orman, thank you. Okay. I'm not saying get support from Susie Orman. I'm saying find somebody who's living the way that you think you want to live and figure out how much money you need to live your life. Thank you. Thank you, friends. Together, we can do anything. Thank you. Yeah. How much do you have and how much do you need? Yeah, some of you have the move abroad dollars. I believe she would tell you $20 million. Have you watched a video of hers lately? I believe that's about where the number is. That's not an exaggeration. I believe she's somewhere around there. Meanwhile, if I can bring in $3,000 a month, I'm living nice, right? Things are good. Get somebody who's living the way you want to live. And get that evaluated. Evaluate some things. I'm sorry, I didn't read the super chat. I'm so sorry. Hello. Thank you, Portia Brewer, for the super chat. Where can I find people to plan corporate events for? Oh, plan corporate events for. There, excuse me. There are people who, let's see, if I was a corporate event planner, I would reach out to everyone. If you've already done this before, I would reach out to I would start at that second section that we talked about. Reach out to everyone you've already done something for, because this is a recurring thing. A lot of people, they do recurring things. I would reach out to everyone you've already had contact with. I would make sure that your social media platforms make it clear to people that this is a thing that you do. If it's a secret, people can't find you. And then I would look at what specifically, is there a specific type of business or type of corporate event that you wanted to specialize in? And then I would find where those people go for support and make sure that I'm there talking my talk, delivering my message, right? So if the corporate events that you want to plan are the employee get-togethers. What do they call them? Retreats, employee retreats. Let's say your corporate event specialty is employee retreats. I don't know that you need to specialize, but let's say you do. You want to specialize in employee retreats, right? Then what I would literally, I would Google how to plan employee retreat and see where these people are already going, right? So there's a company called theoffsite.co, which is the first thing that pops up, Event Flare. And then I would see if they have communities. Do they have a place where people go and like learn from them? And I would get myself into those places. The people who are want to give up the DIY, right? People who want to give up on doing things DIY, want to do things, want to pay somebody to do them. They're in those kind of places trying to figure out how to plan it themselves. And then the other approach that I would take is just make sure that I am in community with the corporations, the companies in my place, like not the Better Business Bureau, the chambers of commerce, get in my local chambers of commerce, go to things for local businesses, and make sure that I connect with those people. I don't know if that was clear. If I wanted to plan corporate events, I would talk to every person I'd ever done anything for and let them know I have availability first, right? Because that's a recurring thing. If they do one event, they do need to do another. And then I would get in community with the types of businesses who do corporate events. And I would make sure that I have a point of view. Here's what you're doing wrong in your corporate event. And in corporate events, it's probably much more prospecting. There's probably a lot of prospecting happening, like actually going on LinkedIn, finding the person who would do that thing, who would be in charge of that thing, and reaching out to them and saying, here's what I do. In the corporate event space, there's probably much more prospecting than there is message delivering. Okay. All right. I saw something just now and I was like, let me go ahead and read that one too. But then I don't remember what it was. We did our second caravan to Mexico. We did the caravans in March and April. May caravan was canceled because Mexico suspended the whole program, what's it called? RNE, regularization. Mexico suspended regularization. So we caravanned in March and April. 8 women each time got their residencies in Mexico. And now it's over. No more caravans as far as we know, because Mexico has suspended regularization. Rules are changing regularly. If you're at all interested in getting residency in some other country, you need to get on it because rules are changing regularly. Who are the financial advisors in our network? So generally a financial advisor is a person who is paid by that particular platform to sell products or services. A financial advisor is a salesperson, right? And so there are no financial advisors in our network as far as I know. There are women who will help you and do some things for yourself, more like in the coaching space, like Adelia Abora-Shade, who is Picky Girl Travels the World. But there are not financial advisors, as in they are paid by, I don't know, a company. Who's an insurance? Who are the people? They're paid by the people to sell that product. Financial advisors are salespeople, right? Who get a commission. In this space, there are financial coaches who help you get your own number. Oh, Money Coach Malika. Thank you, Celeste. So Adelia is Picky Girl Travels the World. She is Adelia Abora-Shade, and Money Coach Malika are 2 women in this space who help you get your thing together. Who do more coaching, who help you figure out your thing, not sales. Let me scroll. It's very simple. Yeah. Knowing how to make $1,000 a month online will set you free. When you get to $1,000, then you know you can double that or triple that. But if you can make $1,000 a month online, you're in the driver's seat. Because number one, you can just go to Thailand on that $1,000 a month and live nice. Or you go someplace more expensive, like a Mexico City. But you know, if you can make $1,000, you can make three. You can do it. You can do it. Sandra from Lack to Legacy, who we talked about at the very beginning, is a coach who helps you learn. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sandra, if you're still awake. She's in Asia. Investing and trading specifically. I think trading more specifically. Okay. I'm not there yet, but hi, Tita Lola, TD Lola, hi. I'm not there yet, but as I work toward this goal, is there a minimum time frame I want to sit on with, say, $3,000 a month in an account? I don't know what you mean. $3,000 in a month in an account. If you're getting $3,000 a month, I don't know what you mean. I know that you can live in a lot of the world on $3,000 a month. A lot of the world. $3,000 a month, a lot of the world is open to you, right? I don't know I'm sorry, I don't get it. I thought I got it, but I don't get it. Here, Sandra's still here. Hello. Good evening. Budgeting, saving, investing, trading. From Lack to Legacy, Money Coach Malika, Pick Your Girl Travels the World. Okay. Okay, friends. Yeah. Add in your Social Security, right? Add in your other things. All right. Okay, friends. I guess I'll go. It's been a long time. 2.5 hours. I guess that's long enough. How did we do? Yeah, $3,000 a month. A lot of the world is open to you. $3,000 a month means you could pay, I don't know, $1,200 or $1,500 just in rent. And that's a lot of the world. That's a lot of places. $1,200 or $1,500 in rent and travel and food and health insurance. You're good to go. Or health care, whether you're paying insurance or paying out of pocket. $3,000 a month is a pretty solid amount of money. It's very solid. You can go back and start from the beginning, Tony. Hi. Yeah, $3K a month. Life is yours. The world is yours. There's a lot of places. You could dip into Europe. There are parts of Europe you could be happy with $3,000 a month. There are parts of Europe where you could just drive by. See Iceland. You're not going to live in Iceland on $3,000 a month, but you could dip in and dip out, right? See them volcanoes. Yeah. Okay, Angela says this has been really helpful. Please take some action. Okay, I've outlined actions for you, whether your gig work is your way, self-employment and online business is your way. I've laid out some action steps. Please take an action step. Okay. We need to have a plan, friends. Okay. You need to have a plan. All right. Thank you very much. So good to see you all again. See you soon. Happy holiday. I forgot that this was a long weekend for most of y'all. I saw somebody post about it the other day and I was like, what? And Rashida was like, what? It's a 4-day weekend. Holidays mean nothing when you don't have a real job. Holidays mean nothing when you got no place to be. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad you all are having this long weekend. I hope you enjoy it. Make the most of it, which for me would be do some resting and figure out some money. Make some money somewhere. Okay. See you. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Enjoy your long weekend. Bye, guys.